These teenagers was doing nothing but chilling at the park. They were just hanging out or whatever when up in Pennsylvania. And these cops, showed up and started, telling them they have to leave the park because people feel uncomfortable. And a lot of people say they didn't feel uncomfortable, but they just wanted to mess with the kids anyway. That's some crazy stuff, gang. That's really crazy. I'm like, why they messing with the kids? The kids not even doing nothing. They just sitting down, just like hanging out or whatever, not just chilling. You know what I'm saying? For real though. Those cops trying to pocket their son, bro. For real though. Anyway. Yeah, they just trying to get some story. That's it. That's all. Anyway, there's one cop decided to mess with this homeless woman who was in a Walmart's parking lot or whatever whatnot. That's saying? And it was crazy. It was crazy as ever. Because yeah, she wasn't doing that. And plus they gave her permission to beat her. But this man made up a story and said the security guard called him and told him to stop the lady from beating her. When she obviously said she had permission to beat her from them or whatever whatnot. And it was just crazy. She just left because dude wasn't listening to her. It was going in one ear and out the other. And you know what I'm saying? It was crazy as ever. There's a man harassed this woman or whatever whatnot. You know what I'm saying? All because he wanted to. He wanted to do something or whatever whatnot. Make him look like he was making an example or something like that. But that's on bro. That was some crazy stuff. He was out of pocket for that. Anyway, so these cops, end up messing with this dude in the traffic stop or whatever whatnot because the cop wanted to see if he had insurance on his car or whatever whatnot. So he just messed with him just to mess with him. You know what I'm saying? And he and obviously was keep on talking to him and talking to him, saying the same stuff over and over again. Dude got aggravated and he got you know what I'm saying, he started talking. You know what I'm saying, major stuff to the cop or whatever whatnot. Him and his partner up there told him to get out the car or whatever whatnot. So he could get his license and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And check out the VIN and all that stuff. And everything came out good and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? For real though. Now that get started or nothing like that, he was ready to go. And that's all bro. Anyway, that's other it's other cops up there had had something to do or whatever whatnot, but he just wanted to do something. He just wanted to do something. For real though, because I'll tell you this, for real game. I mean all I know is that this man naturally burned some his neighbor's garbage can or whatever whatnot. And I think that neighbor called the police or whatever whatnot, and it was crazy as everything. I mean so dude actually went up to this man's door of his house. He asked him to open the door or whatever when the door was gonna get kicked in or whatever whatnot. And the man didn't even want to open the door. So he kicked the door open. You know what I'm saying? Send the dog right up in there. And the man was all up on the couch or whatever whatnot. He told him to put his hands up and stand up. Now, if you were sitting on the couch and you down in the middle of it, it's gonna be hard to get up. So you have to move your hands so you could push yourself up or whatever off the couch or whatever. This man had his hands up high or whatever whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So this man, cop and the man wasn't complaining to him or whatever whatnot. You know what I mean? For real. So he had the dog bite him. Yeah, he took the dog on him. He was oh my goodness, the dog grabbed his face like this. pulled him right off the couch or whatever when I. Dude, oh my goodness, it was crazy. Other cop was tasering him, dragged him like all the way back or whatever when I. You know what I'm saying? For real though. And the cops was like, turn on your stomach, turn on your stomach, turn on your stomach, and all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. He like turned on his stomach, right? And the thing is, the dog bit him in his butt. Hey, I was crazy as everything. I'm like, dang, for real though. And like, the worst thing about it is that he like, you know what I'm saying, didn't even stop the chair from pulling on his head. Or whatever when he was down on the floor. I'm like, bah! I'm like, oh my goodness, it's crazy as everything. You know what I'm saying? But that man was lucky as ever because what? That charges against him got dropped. Plus they gave him like $125,000 settlement. So he could pay off his legal fee or whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he was had to pay off or whatever went on, you know what I mean? For real though. Anyway. So yeah, and the 3 cops that did it, actually got promoted. I'm like, that's crazy as ever. And this happened in Utah. I'm like, dang, that's some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff for real though. Anyway, this one cop, end up messing with this, dude that, actually, drops on the ground with, chalk or whatever whatnot. And he be making, some, art, some good, pictures and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just, drawing, good drawings and stuff like that on the, sidewalk and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Multiple cops mess with this man or whatever whatnot. Bro, only chalk. Chalk for real though. You know what I'm saying? For real. I mean, dang. All, he did that in, a lot of counties in, Texas or whatever whatnot. For real though. It was, crazy. That was out there just trying to get at him. But all the cases they, all the charges they tried to, pin on this man got dropped. For real though. And that was something some crazy stuff that they try to place charges on this man when he didn't do nothing wrong. But yeah, they didn't even apologize for it. One of them apologized, but yeah, the other police, they didn't even apologize for it. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy as ever, for real though. He was up there on the podium trying to explain what happened and all that stuff, and they didn't want to wait. Said he was done with the speech, and they just hanged him off that podium or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Bro, though, that was some crazy stuff, and that's on bro. But anyway, so now I might end up go ahead and do my thing or whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and play the game with Brody or whatever whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Ronaldo, but right after each lunch or whatever. That's it, Ronaldo. Anyway, yeah, I'm just you know what I'm saying? Other than this, do my thing or whatever, Ronaldo. But those cops, in Pennsylvania was own something or whatever, because they just wanted to get something started. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to get something started for real. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And trying to set bait, and I'm glad those kids didn't take that bait, because it would have got iffy immediately. I'm already knowing. Because once they get iffy, oh my goodness, it'll be crazy as ever. That's him. Around though, and then they force you to they gonna force you to make these moves, because they gonna try to put you down on the ground real fast as ever. Around though, and then next thing you know, Oh man, the EP situation might end up becoming a sticky situation. You know, nobody don't want that. And that's on bro. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the bell on notifications. If you see my next upload, I'm not supposed and to make sure I'm making no more tomorrow. And oh yeah, you can check out my previous videos if you're liking. So long, farewell, goodbye.